Hey everybody, Bear Zombies here with Random Bits of Geek and Mindcore Studios, and today I'm going to be talking to you about something very near and dear to my heart, zombies. For the sake of this video, we're going to be talking about the undead variety. Basically, I firmly believe that of all of the relatively supernatural monsters that we see in the movies, zombies are the most likely to occur based off of things like viruses or bacteria that may get into the brain and cause us to become stark, raving, bloodthirsty, murderous beasts. But again, for the sake of this video, we're going to go with the supernatural, risen from the dead variety. And I'm going to be talking about the top 5 weapons and types of weapons you would want to have on and after Z-Day. Covering a whole bunch of different points, be it size, ease of use, reusability, how easy it is to find, stuff like that. So first, I'm going to bring up something that's small, very easy to use, extremely easy to find, and very effective when it comes to killing zombies. And that would be the hammer. It's very small, very easy to wield. You can literally stick it in a belt loop or anything like that. And there's a whole bunch of types of hammers, different sizes, weights, all that. You can find them in almost every household. But through the magic of physics, it takes all of the force that you're putting behind the blow into an area the size of a quarter or $50, something like that, which allows you to put all of that energy into cracking the skull, which is obviously the goal here. So yeah, with the hammer, you're able to directly, hit. It's easy to strike. You can strike multiple times very quickly without having to, gear back, re-prep yourself, stuff like that. So as far as a close combat weapon, it would be a very good thing to have. Also, I would venture to say something like a knife, a large knife. Not too big. I've actually got just like one of my own personal knives, which makes me sound a little bit creepy, but I swear to you I'm not. Something about that size. It's big enough to break through the skull in the back of the eye socket and get into the brain. It's not too unwieldy. It's something you can, again, easily stick on your leg or hook to your belt or put in your pocket or something like that. And again, knives are very easy to come by, very easy to find, so it would be a really good weapon to have. And this is, for scenarios you probably don't want to be in, which is them very up close and personal. Next, I would put something in the arena of a machete. And the reason being is that you want something that's going to allow you to disable. Now, a lot of people are going to think, machete, oh great, yeah, hack the head off. It's not what you're going to want to do with something like this. It's very tough, unless they're in a very advanced state of decay. It's going to be really hard to get through the muscles and even the spine and stuff in the neck. It's going to make it very hard for you to actually chop a head off in the middle of things. But something that it would be very good at is hacking at the legs, leg muscles, behind the knees, behind the ankles, stuff like that, in order to immobilize before you can actually kill. So if you can at least stop them from advancing on you at a high speed or anything like that, that's, it's a +1, and that, you get them down and then you can bust out your hammer or whatever else. So I think a machete is, again, it's not too large, it's very light, very versatile. You can do a whole lot with it in a very short amount of time, which is definitely something you want. Next up is something that's debatable, and a lot of people give a lot of pros and a lot of cons about, and that would be guns. Now, guns would be easy and hard to come by, depending on where you are in the zombie apocalypse. A lot of people think, you can just walk around and find weaponry, but honestly, if there's a decent amount of survivors, you're going to have a lot of people seeking out stuff like that. So with people carrying only a certain amount of stock in stores, things of that nature, it might be actually pretty hard to come by. And you're not going to want to use it all the time. So maybe you don't need to have a tremendous stock of ammunition. But the upside to guns is that you can put some distance between you and the zombies. If you're good with a rifle and a scope, stuff like that, you can actually go very long distances and kind of clear a path for yourself. The downside is a lot of people don't know how to use guns. Now, I grew up shooting guns, and even me, I mean, it's got a lot of kickback. It's not like you see in the movies where it's just like, oh, okay, let me just fire off a few rounds real quick and maybe bounce your hand, and that's it. A decent sized round, like a 45 and even a 40, just as far as a handgun goes, can give you a lot of kickback. So that's kind of a downside. If you've never used a gun, it's going to be a whole different arena for you, and you're probably not going to hit shit in your first go. But on the upside, you've got a large target if you want to go for the body to kind of incapacitate and stuff like that. You can really fuck shit up, especially if you've got like a hollow point round or something lead, something like that. So guns are a pro and a con, a good weapon to have pretty much regardless, even if it is close combat last resort. One of my favorite things would probably be something that's extremely easy to find, especially if you've got half knowledge on how to create it and stuff like that. But it would be fire. And again, kind of a pro and a con. Pro, you're going to be completely destroying flesh. It's going to take a minute, but if you do it right and you're in the right scenario, it's not something you're going to want to do if you're completely surrounded and you've got no time to react. But if there's something that you can carefully plan out, and I say carefully very loosely, if you can half carefully plan something out with fire, it'd probably be a good thing. Now, the upside to this is they're already dead. There's no nerve connector, there's no nerves firing back to the brain telling him, hey, you're on fire, get the fuck away from this guy, stop pursuing, get away from all your friends, whatever. There's none of that left. So, by using something like a Molotov cocktail, or if you are able to construct an area where you've laid down some fuel and are able to ignite it, stuff like that, not only will you be able to incapacitate the zombies that are approaching you, but if there's a large group of them, there's also a good chance you're going to set many of the others on fire. So you can take care of a good chunk, a swath of a zombie onslaught with just a little bit of fire. Downside, fire has a mind of its own. So if you're in a really fucked position, you probably don't want to surround yourself with fire. If you are surrounded by things that are flammable, you probably don't want to surround yourself with fire. If you are in your own house or an apartment or in a very tall building, you probably don't want to surround yourself with fire. But I would say in most other scenarios, perfect. And the last one isn't so much a direct weapon. I would say one of the best things that you can do is set traps. And that requires forethought, which you're going to want to do anyway because you're in the goddamn zombie apocalypse. So you're probably going to want to, A, not be flying solo, because it always helps to have partners. And I'm actually going to make a video a little bit later on the top people you would want to have in your little Z-Day group. But setting traps can be extremely useful. First of all, you can create the situation. So it's not just like, oh, hey, I'm walking through an abandoned supermarket. Oh, fuck, there's zombies. What do? If you're able to set up traps and get yourself into a situation where you can protect yourself in a way that you can control, the advantages are, I can't even describe them. You set yourself up for a position of victory, first of all. But you can leverage all of this against everything that's against you. First of all, you've got gravity. You can use gravity to create traps, snares, things to restrain. Because again, you don't really have that thought as far as your classic zombie goes. So if they get trapped, they're not going to try to figure out how to undo the trap. Again, classic zombie is not necessarily just somebody with a brain infection or something that maybe they've still got that knowledge. But it's something that you can use both as an offense and as a defense, which is extremely useful. Again, you can set traps, go home to your safe place, have traps around you, so be killing people while you sleep, killing zombies while you're, asleep, and protecting yourself if somehow they try to get in or whatever, you're protected. So yeah, those would be some of my top weapons. some general ideas that people have that I would say are kind of bad ideas, and we'll probably talk about this in another either video or an article on the website mindcorestudios.com. Some bad weapons, bad ideas. Chainsaw, good and bad. A knife, again, I mentioned a knife. It's good and bad. You have to be really close for that type of shit. Knitting needles are very small. It's a lot easier to actually puncture as long as you have enough force behind them. So combined with a hammer, you've got a really good way to kind of, break into the skull and then just wiggle it around and just fuck some shit up. So there's that. If anybody out there has a top 5 list, please send it my way in the form of a video response or down below in comments. Or if you want to go on to the website at mindcorestudios.com and click on this article, or go through Random Bits of Geek, search zombie, whatever you want to do, and leave me your top 5, your top 10, your top 100 list, whatever. Give me your reasons why they're great weapons and why I fucked up for not saying them, or why I'm fucking stupid for putting what I put in there. So with that, y'all have a great day, and hopefully we all survive Z-Day. Bye.